Hello everyone, Strikoder here and welcome back to a new episode of Active Directory Hacking Lab. In this episode we're gonna learn together how to enumerate a domain with a low privilege user with credentials. So let's get started. First of all, let me check from the last time. We had the ASREP user and with this pass. So if you are following through the series, you're gonna have the same user and pass if you use the script that we used when creating this lab. If you are not, just sit tight and you can do the lab whenever you want later. For now, you can watch how we can enumerate the Active Directory. So first of all, I would like to start with Nmap. So I'm just gonna search for my Nmap over here, Nmap, and I would like to take that, paste it into here. Okay. So permission denied. Okay, because I'm inside root. So I'm gonna change into here, make directory to delete. It's already here. And I'm gonna, okay, that's strange. So probably I'm gonna get back to the user that I have. Oops. And I'm gonna make to delete over here. Cd to delete and run the script over here. So here we have write permissions. So I usually run with SVSC for script enumeration and version enumeration, PN for not the silent Nmap enumeration. I've explained, I believe, briefly about the tags about Nmap, so I'll not go into that precisely. And over here, VV for verbose mode, and we are enumerating the wrong IB. So it's gonna be 10.0.2.15, and here we see open ports. So we have 53 DNS enumeration. We've had that in the last episode. Then we're gonna move to 135, 139, and 445, which is the SMB enumeration. And then we can check LDAP and move on with our enumeration. So let me check. I'm gonna stop that for now. And let me check my no auth. So I have a script called no auth SMB. I'm gonna run that and we're gonna check together what's going behind the scenes. No auth SMB and the IB. So it's not found because I'm running as the non-privileged user. I need the privileged one. It's just because that's how I made my scripts. In order, just if my VM machine got hacked, it will not enumerate itself. So, oops, there is to delete over here already. Okay, so no auth SMB with the IB. I'm gonna export IB equals 10.0.2.15 and run that. So what's going on over here? First of all, we have the NMB lookup, which takes the IP and give us the domain name. So I encourage you to check up the script. Let me, oops, go to here. So Firefox and Strikoder. We can check, for instance, here, just to get into the GitHub account, repositories, OSCP toolkit, OSCP scripts. Then you go to enumeration. So I have no authentication, which we've gone through the last video. And here we have the authentication script. So we use the authentication one. And over here we can see that we use several methods, starting with NMB lookup. Actually, starting with Nmap, right? So let me check. Not here, I mean to here. Nah, starting with NMB lookup. So we start, where do we have NMB lookup? I believe it's here. Nah, that's just the way that I check. Okay, anyhow, I believe I removed that, or I cannot recall, but here is the latest script, and I usually update that once a month because I always have something new in my hand, in my experience. So over here, we start with authentication mode, we start with Nmap, and we try to check the SMB protocols, because if you had SMB version 1, it might be vulnerable to some vulnerabilities, some exploitation attack vectors. Then the time, if it's we have some issues with the time, security mode as well, the capabilities, and the 17010 or blue keep, I believe it was called. That's the way I run Nmap through that. I'm gonna edit that in a while as well. SMB recon, so I use NXC. I really like to use NXC. I will explain that more precisely in a while. So I use NXC instead of which is netexec instead of SMB exec, and yeah, I use that with these flags: shares for enumerating shares, users, password policy, logged on users, and Quinsta. So if you don't know what each flag means, just let me know in the comment section. And then I just try to make a small LDAP recon. I will probably add in the near future a way to verify for I believe WinRM, and for all the stuff that we can verify, I believe we can RDP verify as well. So then the DP API variants, and here we make a check if it's a local verification or not. Then modules, and that's it. So with the modules, I use labs for labs secure password. Let me make that bigger with this. So I check for labs, GBP password, auto login, Wi-Fi, PuTTY, PowerShell history, LACI, nanodump, and so on. So try to check the script on your own, or not waste more time. And over here, I used no auth, which was not what I wanted. I wanted to show that we had no auth. I'm gonna use auth, so it's gonna be the IB, and it's gonna be user. Actually, let me export user equals, so what was our user? Echo user and echo pass. So let me, oops, not here, I want to go here. So that's our password. What was our user? ASRep user, and export pass equals, so I'm gonna put single quotation marks, export IB, it's ready, export domain, and then now I can run the script. So it's gonna be, I'm gonna edit the flags in the near future as well, so you'll not need to enter -t, -u, -p, -d, just enter them immediately. So here we see we are running netexec with the -shares. So here we see that we have access over sysvols, over secret. We have write access as well, which is extremely good. Here we see the users are saved into this file. Then the pass policy, I missed that. Let me go. So here we see the pass policy, which is 7, the length 7, and the history 24 days. And we see logged on users, there are none. Quinsta, nothing over here interesting. Groups, we enumerated all the groups. You can write or add your touch, maybe make a pull request on how to get the groups into a separate file. DP API, cookies, no system, and so on. So here we see GPP password, nothing interesting. Auto login, nothing interesting. Wi-Fi, booty, and so on. So you can check the script on your own. However, you can also use local auth for oops. So I believe it's enough to just remove the domain. And here we see we don't have local admin. That's why we have negative. So what we are doing under the hood is just as using this, but with the password, of course. So the script is just using netexec under the hood. That was for the SMB. What do we have as well? So here we enumerated SMB. Now we can enumerate LDAP. And we can, yeah, we're gonna finish with LDAP, but I want to further explain about how to enumerate SMB without my script. So we can use smbclient. So you would use smbclient -l for listing, and then you would provide, as in here, the IP, then the username, at percent, the password. So here you can list all the disks or the shares that you can enumerate. Then you can over here type the name of the share that you are interested to enumerate. So here secrets, but without listing. So now we are in. You can type help to see what you can do. So you can type history. There's nothing in here. Directory, for instance, we see a zip file, which is interesting, which is if you attended or if you see the Bloodhound episode, we had the sharp.zip on the secrets. That's our share. Now I'm gonna exit. Okay. Now it's gonna be about LDAP enumeration. So auth LDAP. So what do we need here? We need our DC IP, the IP of our domain controller. I'm gonna just leave the IP over here, or you can type DC IP. I'm gonna provide 10.0 to 15. Then the user, the path, the domain, and you can provide either LDAP or LDAPS. It really depends on the domain that you're working on. So here we see all the users as if we are enumerating through Bloodhound. And here we are grouping for some stuff. It's just based on my experience with the CTFs. So we are grouping before one line and after 2 lines the info, because that you cannot grab with, or you not get this information through Bloodhound, and you are not and we are getting the users that either have passwords not identical to password policy, or they can log in without any password. And we can we are logging as well. We are taking note of Cascade legacy credentials. You can check Cascade hackthebox machine on hackthebox, and saving that, of course, for several files. So cd results auth LDAP and get all. Here you can see all the information that we have. So let's go to the auth LDAP. Over here we see just a simple example, and what we are doing under the hood, we are using ldapsearch with dash triple L's for more information, and we are taking out to out main. We are taking just the object class equal to user, so you can remove that and it will get the machines as well. It really just depends on your needs, but most of the time, 99% of the time, you just need the users. And here there is another script called ad1 check. So it just run zero logon check. It first check if you had that installed, then it checks for print nightmare. You can run that if you really want, but I will not explain further because it's just gonna be, this episode is gonna be just only about authentication in authenticated enumeration. So that's what that was it for now. Thank you guys for watching, and be sure to follow up with the Blunt Out episode if you didn't watch that, because it really, like, you can count that as authenticated enumeration as well. And please don't forget to like, share, leave a comment, and subscribe. See you next time.